Hey, what's going on, Gaijins and Gaijins? This is Good Gaijin Greg, and I'm back with another video. And as you can see, I haven't shaved yet because it's summer. It's still summer vacation, so I'm just, enjoying not having to shave every couple of days for work. Though I probably will shave tomorrow. But I'm back with some more questions. I'm gonna answer a few more questions about my time in Japan here. Hopefully you'll find it informative and at the very least slightly interesting. But let's go ahead and get started. Are there any foods you can't get there that you miss, or food that isn't properly made here? Like properly made, like how it is back in America. Foods that I miss. I do miss being able to buy certain things, like just at the store. Like, I do miss being able to buy like bacon, like just regular strips of bacon, like a pack of bacon. What else? Cheeses. I talked about that before. I do miss being able to buy, just a just go to the store and buy different types of cheese. They don't have cheddar, just cheddar. So like I can't. They actually no, they have red cheddar at the convenience store, but it's in a bag like this big, and there's like 7 cubes of it, like dice cubes of red cheddar. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what else. Yeah, just like hamburger meat. Like either I have to go to like a major like supermarket, or I have to ask them to like grind it for me, which is, freshly ground hamburger meat. That's great. It's a bit more expensive because they have to grind it themselves, but I mean, they always have ground chicken there. They always have ground pork, but they very rarely have ground beef at the torisupa in town, and they never have any kind of real meat at the convenience store. Yeah, it's just, the convenience of being able to buy like, oh, hot dog buns. Hot dog buns, it's a roll of the dice if they're going to be there. More than once I've gone to like buy hot dog buns and no store in town has them. Sometimes if I'm in like a bigger city, I'll go and buy some there. Yeah, I can get hamburger buns, but I have to buy them like one at a time at the furthest convenience store. And it's not even like hamburger buns, they're buns for the chicken patties that are there, so you can make like a chicken burger. But I use them for, whatever I want to make. But yeah, those are some of the foods that I do wish I could get my hands on more regularly here. Let's see. What's the most popular local drink around there? Green tea. Sorry, it's nothing fancy. Green tea. Everybody drinks tea. I think I said it before, if you like sweet tea, you might have your feelings hurt coming out here because it is pretty much always unsweetened. Like you can find stuff to sweeten it yourself, but yeah, not a lot of sweet tea drinkers out here. Let's see. Do you find yourself frustrated with the language barrier? Sometimes. Like, especially if I'm trying to like talk to a girl that I'm interested in, or, the few times that I have, dated women here, and like there's been varying degrees of English speaker. The most recent being pretty good speaking English. Like we can have a regular conversation. But even then, there are some times when she says something I don't understand, or I say something she doesn't understand, and we have to look it up or something like that. But like the first time I started dating somebody, it was 100% basically texting with each other while sitting next to each other. So that can be frustrating. Sometimes when I'm teaching and a teacher just goes into this whole spiel about what we're doing today, and it's all in Japanese and I don't understand any of it. And I'm just kind of like, you know I don't speak Japanese. You know I'm learning. Why did you do this to me? And like some of the teachers that do speak, and like the teachers get cycled out every like 3 to 5 years. So like here in Japan, you can't work at a government job for longer than 3 to 5 years, I think. So a teacher that maybe I've started with and, you know, got a good rapport going with, all of a sudden the new year will start and they're just gone. You know, they didn't say anything, you know, and I just go in and it's just like, oh yeah, that teacher left. I'm like, well, crap. Now I got to try and figure out something with this new teacher, which, you know, I can adapt to, but still. Let's see. How is learning Japanese going? Slowly. Very slowly. It's going, but slowly. Let's see. How's your back sleeping on futons? I actually have 3 futons stacked. So, like I have a folding bed that kind of like doubles as a couch kind of thing. Not like a fold out bed, but it's just the bed and you can like raise it up, like raise the head part up. And then I bought 2 other futons and put that on top. So it's almost a full bed. And, you know, I have a few cushions and I like sleep with them between my legs to make sure my back is better supported. But yeah, it's doable. Let's see. What has been the most challenging aspect of living in Japan? What have you done to best deal with the challenge? Outside of the language barrier, the most challenging part about living in Japan, I mean, mostly language. That's like 90% of it. And then like the other 10% is frankly the loneliness, you know? Especially out here. Like, so I feel like a lot of the people in bigger cities with a lot of ALTs, assistant learning teachers, and other Americans or, you know, foreigners, they have it a lot easier because here I am the only foreigner. There is a Filipino family, but outside of the kids, really, the parents don't really speak a lot of English from what I've been told. I'm the only fluent speaker of English here. There's a few people here that can speak English, again, of varying degrees. There's one person that's here who used to live in America. She used to be an au pair there, basically taking care of people, like a live-in nanny, basically. And she speaks really good English. And then there's a few teachers that have, you know, studied in America and everything. So, but they all have families and stuff. So it's not like they can always be like, hey, Gregory Sensei, Greg, why don't you come on over and hang out? And, you know, don't get me wrong. I've been invited to a lot of people's houses and I've had a lot of fun at barbecues and things like that. But yeah, it can't happen all the time. So, but yeah. And then trying to fly back to America to visit family is expensive. And of course, right now, I can't do it at all. So, yeah. So, language barrier, loneliness, because I live in the woods by myself. Let's see. what's the thing that took the longest to get used to? Well, one thing that took a while to get used to was natural disasters out here, because Japan is on a fault line, like the whole country, and they get a lot of earthquakes of varying sizes. Luckily, I live up north and I live surrounded by mountains, so Kuzumaki isn't on a fault line. Like, we still get earthquakes, but it's a lot sturdier here. And like the ground underneath us is pretty much all stone. So yeah, we don't get the same stuff that like Tokyo gets. Like Tokyo gets hit pretty hard for earthquakes. But the thing with earthquakes is like, if it's really weak, you'll just, which you'll get a lot of. Like you'll feel an earthquake a lot of the time. In a year, maybe like, see, there's 365 days in a year, maybe 200 of those days are earthquake days. Yeah, so you'll feel at least a small earthquake, like at least 4 or 5 days out of a month. But then there are some days when it's stronger. And it's not the earthquake necessarily that freaks me out. It's my phone that freaks me out, because Japan has a warning system. And so, when you get a phone, it sends out an alarm across all, if your TV's on, it'll come through your TV. If your laptop's on, it'll come through your laptop. If you have a phone, it'll come through your phone. And it's this loud, piercing, terrifying sound. And God help you if you're asleep when it hits. Because it's just like, whoop, 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 whoop. It's just like, oh my God, what's happening? And like, it doesn't tell you how strong it is. It's just like, just so you know, you might die. And basically someone just yelling in your ear, you're about to die, you're about to die. So that part sucks. Not necessarily the earthquake, because like I said, there's a gnat or a tiny mosquito in here. I should really close my blinds, but I'll do that after this. But yeah, it's not necessarily the earthquake that freaks me out, because I'm up north and I don't get hit too hard. And I'm far enough inland to get only, heavy rain, not the full typhoon that some areas get, and some flooding. But yeah, earthquakes, lots of earthquakes. That took some getting used to. Is the internet as fast as I've heard it to be? I wouldn't know, because again, I live in the middle of nowhere, so the internet isn't great here. It's so internet. I feel like I've answered this one, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, internet where I am isn't great. What Japanese ice cream store has the best ice cream? I don't know. Again, I don't live anywhere. Like, there's a couple places around here to get ice cream. Like, you can get them from Lawson's, but it's like, store-bought ice cream. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still really good ice cream. And like, the best thing that I've had from there was this Crunky, it's called Crunky, and it's a mint chocolate chip ice cream bar. So it's mint ice cream, and it's got a big thick chunk of chocolate in the middle with chocolate chips dotted throughout, with a chocolate coating with like crunchies on there. And it's amazing. And they don't sell it all year round. It's only in the summertime, and it's only sometimes in the summertime. So I still haven't seen any crunky bars at the Lawsons. And then there's a gelato place closer to the high school that's really good, and I haven't been there in a while, so maybe I'll go there tomorrow or something. Maybe Saturday, since that's kind of like my cheat day or whatever. But and then there's a farm, like the main dairy farm of Kuzumaki, and they have a store there where you can buy souvenirs and stuff, and they also have ice cream, and they have cheese flavored ice cream, which is surprisingly good. Really, 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 really good. It kind of tastes like cream cheese ice cream, like cheesecake ice cream, basically. But yeah, that was really good. I was surprised at how good that was. I kind of want ice cream. I shouldn't have answered that question. I don't want ice cream. Let's see. I kind of answered that question. It asked, does it get lonely? How do you feel living out there? Like, I love living out here. This is seriously like the best thing I've ever done. And I've never been happier living out here. It does get lonely, but it's like 90% of the time, I'm just like, some days, even days when I'm upset or depressed or something, I'm driving to work and I go, why am I down right now? I live in Japan. The one place I've always wanted to go my entire life, and I live here. And not just like in a westernized, city like Tokyo, where like half the people speak English and there's a bunch of foreigners there. And no, I live in like the woods of Japan. About as Japan can get. So yeah, it's definitely it's more good than bad here. Let's see. A prevailing myth is that Americans aren't thought of very highly. Did you experience this? Were locals surprised when you didn't exactly demonstrate the stereotype? Like most places, you'll have your people that are kind of like, you're different from me and I don't like it. But since I've been here, everyone has been nothing but kind. Even when I go to like major cities, like I've been to Tokyo, Sendai, Hachinohe, and of course Kuzumaki, Morioka. People treat me perfectly fine. Their people are super nice to me. I do get the foreigner, Kokujin, black guy. But nothing hateful, nothing mean. People do have, stereotypes that they think, people will ask, oh, do you like basketball? I'm like, no, I don't like basketball, sorry. My sport is swimming. I love to swim. I don't really care for basketball. Sorry. But I do, I don't think that they really had too many stereotypes set for me, because Japan gets what America sends them when it comes to their minorities. So because most things aren't minorities that come over here, it's mostly Caucasian leads, Caucasian music. There are some people that appreciate, Jamaican music, hip hop, reggae, different actors and stuff like that. But like mainstream stuff isn't Black America or Hispanic America or even Asian America. It's white America. So they're kind of getting a clean slate when it comes to me. And it helps that I'm not ghetto. So like some people, they might rub off wrong on people, but because I'm, well spoken, very relaxed, overly polite a lot of the times, a lot of the times I get you're very Japanese for being an American. Like they're very surprised at how I am compared to some other Americans that they've met or other foreigners that they've met. They're like, most foreigners are loud and, demanding and very opinionated. And Kirky Sensei, you're not like that. I'm like, I can be. I can be loud and opinionated depending on what I'm talking about or what's going on, but I don't like to, I guess, inconvenience people. And that's a big thing here in Japan, is not inconveniencing yourself before you inconvenience someone else. So that's something that if you come out here, they really appreciate. If you can put your own freedoms aside for the greater good, which is something that, like, there was another question here that was like, what's different between living in America and living in Japan? And that's one of the big things, is Japan is very what's good for the group. And as you can see from a lot of the news and a lot of things, many Americans, not all, but many Americans are very my rights, my feelings, me, before someone else, And they don't understand that if your rights are catered to, someone else's isn't. And Japan tends to be, okay, well, if everyone follows this one rule, then everyone's catered to. Yeah, you might be inconvenienced a little bit, but good with the bad. So for instance, if you ride a bus or a train, you're expected to not answer your phone. You'll see signs everywhere. You know how like my people in Chicago, you have that person on the train listening to their music from their phone all loud, or people cursing out their girlfriend or boyfriend over the phone. You won't get that out here because there's a big sign that says, hey, your phone stays on vibrate, don't talk on the phone, don't play music. And most people, they'll have their phone, but they'll have an earpiece in and it's quiet. And if people are talking, they're speaking as if the person is sitting next to them, not at the other end of the train. Like, sure, you'll have some people get a little bit loud, but then like people tend to look at them like, shut the hell up. And like I said, Japan has its own issues, but it tends to be very group oriented compared to America and their personal rights kind of thing. I think that's good for today. Snack foods. Alrighty. Yeah, I think that's all the questions for today. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, send them to me and I'll answer them in a future video. I'm actually enjoying answering these questions about Japan and being able to go more in depth with how it is living out here compared to if I just do one video and I might miss a few things, or people might have personal questions that they want to ask me. But yeah, if you have any questions, that you think of, shoot me a message, put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them in a future video. Like I said, hopefully this was informative to anyone who wants to come out here. Hopefully I didn't scare anybody off with like earthquakes and stuff. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But yeah, I think that's about it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Laters.